Right, well, we're on our way to Tewkesbury today. It's a really nice warm summer's day. Haven't had too many of these latterly. And I'm on the Honda 900 Hornet, cruising along. This bike is very nice for 50-60 mile per hour cruising, but fast cruising is a bit tricky because of the wind blast. Well, for me. The bike's running very well. Since I got it back from Steve Rutter, I haven't really had to do a great deal to it engine wise. I did have a couple of tyres replaced, but the tyre people didn't replace the valves, and both of them over the years, or for whatever reason, I don't know, had slight leaks in the rubber, and I found that both the front and the rear tyres were going down. So I took the wheels back and they put new valves in for me and didn't charge me, thankfully. Other than that, I took the front calipers to bits and freed up the pistons, because although I hadn't used this bike in the winter, standing in the garage, they had the pistons seemed to have tightened. Lack of use, I guess. Anyway, I took the calipers off, and sure enough, two of the pistons had completely seized. So that must have been from the salt from previous years' use, I guess, because the pistons were really mucky. I pumped the pistons out and cleaned them off. And with the trusty piston pliers, I was able to get them working again without having to strip the calipers and refurbish them. And since I had to have the rear wheel off anyway to have that valve fixed, I checked on that piston as well. And yes, there was a bit of muck around the seal, which I cleaned off, and so that's all I've had to do really, and fit a belly pan, a cheap and nasty belly pan. Yes, the belly pan came from Romania, and it took me a while to make some really accurate brackets, particularly as the structure of it was so flimsy. It was so flimsy you could see through the paint. So I had to respray it, and that wasn't really a very good buy, to be honest. Well, here we are in Tewkesbury, and they're due to have a medieval fair here. So the bunting is out, and I think what I'll do, I'll drive through Tewkesbury, because it's a very pretty town. It's a medieval town. It looks beautiful. The buildings are nicely kept. It's near the River Severn, so there are some lovely walks in the fields at the back. So we'll have a little cruise through. As I say, normally I bypass the centre, but it's such a nice day, I thought it would be nice to just have a look through. There's a lovely half-timbered building there. In fact, there are lots of them. Oh, looks like we've got a road work up ahead, or is it? Is it pedestrians? I don't know. Anyway, we have to stop. Old People's Welfare HQ. Well, I'm an old person. Perhaps they'd like to look out for my welfare. Yes, the one thing about this bike, with its advanced mileage, is that there's a lot of snatch at low revs. So you have to be careful with the clutch and throttle, otherwise it'll be jumpy. But I almost guarantee that should I take the clutch out, I will find that the tangs are well warm. And it's not an expensive job, and nor is it completely necessary, so I doubt that I'll be doing that. But it's something that I need to bear in mind compared to the other bikes. There is this snatchiness like that with the backlash in the clutch tangs. At least that's my guess. But then it's done a lot of miles with a rather large person on the saddle, and we all know Steve's a big lad, probably twice my size actually. Other than that, the engine rides beautifully. It's a cracking little engine, this detuned blade engine. Actually, this is the first run I've done since I did the brake caliper clean up, or at least the longish run. I've been for a couple of short and sharp little runs just to test things out. But apart from the belly pan, which hopefully will keep a lot of the muck off the downpipes, I've fitted a top box on. A very small one, but it does give me more carrying capacity, and it also has a little backrest on it for my better third, who likes to lean back onto something. So other than that, it's been pretty much untouched, and I've been concentrating more on working on the Blackbird, which is the next bike to have a little run on, I think. I must say I do like that Blackbird. It's the engine is stunning. Yes, I can sort of understand why they didn't bother to update the Blackbird, because that engine, that 1100 engine, is so sweet. If they'd bored and stroked it, I think it would have completely spoilt it. And I don't think they thought they'd develop a new engine, so they just left it as it was. And it has to be admitted that the Blackbird is an easier bike to love than than the Hayabusa. Well, for me. Well, that's Tewkesbury out of the way. Now we'll just cruise south. The little fly screen at the front does actually take some of the wind blast off, but you're very aware of wind blast compared to a faired machine, of course.